Hi, this is Make Them Suffer. My name is Booka.
I'm Nick, and you're watching Grasser Productions.
Hi, my name's Lucas, you're watching Grasser Production, and I'm here today with Make Them Suffer, Booka and Nick. Hi, how are you doing, guys?
Very well.
Very well, thank you.
So you're currently on tour with The World Alive for the anniversary tour. You're also touring with Of Virtue. How do you feel about the bands? How is the lineup? How are the audiences so far?
The tour's been a lot of fun so far. I think we got a really good crew on the bus.
They're all awful, really. No, I'm joking.
Are you sharing?
Yeah,
We're sharing a bus, and it's been pretty wild every night. I promised myself before coming on this tour that I'd be a very good boy, and seems like that it's been just the contrary.
I actually promised myself that I was going to have heaps of fun, but I've been going to bed after load-in every night. I've been sleeping like 8 to 10 hours every night, so I've been very well behaved.
It's usually the other way around, but maybe not this time.
Not this time. Yeah. Well, we're still in the early days of tour, so maybe we'll see. It's been good. Everyone's lovely.
Yeah. Really early days. I think it's the 21st day of tour, and a couple more shows to come.
I mean, it's what's the date today? It's the...
I don't even remember, but I know we've done this is probably our 7th show in. We're a third, just about to hit the third way mark into the tour. So still early, still early
for us, because we had the festival show and then we had several days off.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then this tour started. So, yeah.
So 3 years ago, we did an interview with Nick. Unfortunately with you, but what has changed since then? I mean, it's a long time. You released some music since then.
Yeah, that was before our last release, wasn't it?
That was on the Betraying the Martyrs and Chelsea Grin tour.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, that's right. Look, we've just been touring, honestly, relentlessly since then. I think the most time we had off at any given point in time was 6 months. We had a 6-month break in between 2017 and 2018. 2018 to 2019. I want to say. So after
2018, yeah.
Right. So after the Chelsea Grin tour in February, I think, of that 2017, we flew straight to the US to do Architect's first tour back after the passing of their guitarist, and pretty much right after that tour, we put out Worlds Apart, toured for the rest of the 6 months of that year in Europe, Australia, and the US, and after the album tours across the world, we were pretty much picking up support tours. We're on the festival circuit in Australia. We're doing support shows in the US mainly. But yeah, it's been really full on since we spoke last time. We've been touring for the most part of the time. Yeah.
So you already mentioned Worlds Apart. It has been out for quite a while now. What do you feel about the album right now?
How do we feel about the music, or? Well, tough to say. I think every time we write an album, it's a representation of how we feel about the music at the time. So we're writing new music. We're writing new music at the moment, and we're just about to put out another single. As a release. It's funny, like last time we spoke, this is literally the same thing that happened. Kind of a deja vu. I'm having a deja vu moment. So we're about to put out another single, and again, like I'm starting to get bored of Worlds Apart. We're at the end of our album cycle, and I'm just ready to put out some new music. Yeah.
Oh, that's great news. But still talking about Worlds Apart, out of the 2 video singles you released for the album, Save Yourself and Fireworks, which one was your favorite? back then?
Favorite video or favorite song?
I can answer those separately if you want to.
Favorite video, Fireworks. Favorite song, Save Yourself.
Yeah, I love the fireworks clip.
Yeah, that's great.
So when we went and did it, the location of the fireworks video clip was I don't remember the name of the place, but it was like
Bailing Up.
Bailing Up, yeah, in Western Australia. So you'll notice in the video, it's got like sceneries of like massive fogs over mountains and stuff. That's not VFX. So
All real.
it's all real. And, you know, the fact that we got to go up there and we caught the fog at the right time. It doesn't always come. It comes like maybe 3 times a year. And that was one of the days we were able to. It just happened by accident. We didn't think the fog was going to be there, and it ended up like, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. So I have to say that, yeah, fireworks for that. Yeah. You know, for and that reason.
I thought it was like my birthday or something when you guys mentioned that we were getting to go to a costume shop and buy a bunch of wigs and costumes. I was like,
Booka loves
what
wigs.
have I done that is so good that I get this treat? And then like in the video as well, like it had some sentimental value for me. You'll notice like there's this doll that the younger girl is playing with and that I play with as well. It's the one that doesn't go into the fire at the end, but that was like my raggy doll from when I was a baby and stuff. So yeah, like I brought that along on set. So like that doll is like I still have that doll and I will hopefully have that doll forever until I pass it on to maybe my own kids. So yeah, like that was like really sweet. And like my parents, oh my gosh, when they saw that doll in there, they were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So yeah, and then like the wigs and the dress ups was so much fun. So really good to make.
That's a great story, but you don't bring the doll with you on tour, do you?
Oh look, I used to, but no, I didn't really.
Booka loses a lot of things on tour. So
not so much anymore, I've learned.
Yeah, but yeah, probably best that it be left at home. You know,
yeah, somewhere safe.
Yeah.
I can be a bit absent-minded sometimes and just like losing like power adapters or cables. Or
everyone does that.
Yeah.
I'm getting better slowly.
So let's talk about your newest single, 27. What is the song about? Just in general, yeah.
Yeah, I love this. This is so juicy.
Where's Sean?
Wish Sean was here to explain that. From what I understand, we let Sean write lyrics. That's completely his department. But for as far as my understanding goes, when we wrote 27, so there's a part in the song where Sean goes like, oh, and there's a delay effect. There's that's a totally metalcore thing to do, but we put a spin on it by we chucked in a delay effect, and Sean was like, let's make this song about computers. He loves lyrical concepts and stuff, so he's like, let's make this song about computers. So I'm just gonna chuck a 1 in there, so it goes like all right, 1, right? So then we were like, I wonder what like that 001 is in as a binary value, and typed it into Google, and it came up with the number 27. So I guess like at the time, average age of the band being 27 years old, we were like, okay, well that's you hear about the number 27 in popular culture. 27 Club, etc. So we're like, let's just call this song 27. It was really funny. One time I was talking to my friend who is in IT. He does like computers and software programming. He was like, so I was explaining the same story to him, and he goes like, 0001011. Oh my God, that's 27. So I don't know. We like throwing like Easter eggs in our songs and stuff, and that's just a representation of what we do.
Something I noticed, what I really liked about the song, is the contrast between 27 and Save Yourself. Because in Save Yourself there's the spoken word part where you guys come clear about your intentions and stuff. There's no metaphors or imagery, and 27 is like the opposite of it. Yeah.
And it's interesting, actually. Sean and I spoke a lot about like when that song was being written. about the whole concept of being like somewhat like biological machines in a way. So like we like we feel and things like that, but essentially everything that we are experiencing is just like chemical. It's like just our cognitive, whatever cognition is really. But like, it's our brains having, certain chemical responses and reactions to our environment and to different stimuli. So like it is interesting because whilst it is like quite a metaphorical song, it's also like really stripping it back and being like, we are just biological machines in a lot of ways. Which is also kind of contrasting, I think, to Save Yourself, which is all about like feeling and how feelings are like real and genuine things. And then in 27, it's kind of almost like this, but it doesn't mean anything really, like because we are just biological machines, and Yeah,
we are. You'll notice as part of our whole Easter egg thing, there's going to be we're a band that juxtaposes, like Booka was saying. There's a song about being a machine, and then Save Yourself's just like a literal representation of how he feels. And in our music, there's a lot of a lot of elements like that. Like if you go back onto the Never Bloom album, you'll notice that. We have like lots of, but then it'll wind back down to songs like Elegies and then Let Me In and stuff. There's that's what our band's about. It's just like one massive juxtaposition between like, if you want to call it like man, machine, dark, light, male, female. That's
there's no reason to like box yourself off into one little like category really. Like why not explore as many avenues as you make up who you are. So like I think that's what I really enjoy about this band, is how many different sort of, it's like, what are we going to do next? We have no idea, but we'll we have no like constraints.
Let's write a heavy song. The next song is going to be like probably the heaviest song we've ever written. Absolutely, I can 100% guarantee you that. But who knows? The song we write after might be just like, it could be a ballad, and then everyone like, one of those songs where like everyone lifts their lighters and stuff. So we're all about juxtaposition. We're always going to be. We can change our music as many times as we want, but the one thing that will always like remain across the entirety of our careers is juxtaposition in our music.
So, since I was going to ask anyway, the coming single, is it going to be off on record that's coming?
I don't know.
Not sure. We're we've got a whole song bank written, but I don't know what songs are making the record. This single, we weren't like, oh yeah, we're going to put this song on the record. We were on tour in the US one day and had a day off in Baltimore. So we spent that day off in a studio just to write a song. So I think we were in the studio for like 16 hours, no more than that. Wrote some riffs. I got Sean to like write lyrics quickly. He jumped on the mic, and we were like, after about 3 to 5 hours of riffing and recording and doing vocals and stuff, we all got together and we were like, hell yeah, this is that was actually really really easy. Let's just make a song out of that. So granted, we spent a little bit of time in the weeks following just like mixing and matching parts. We just felt like we were inclined to release it. I don't know if it's going to go onto the album. Okay. That's not what we're about. We're just kind of like, we go off the fly, and if it's good, it's good. Let's release it. Yeah.
Great. I'm looking forward to it.
Right.
So touring doesn't sound so exhausting for you guys, since you can go to the studio in the middle of a tour and record a song.
No, man, that was...
No.
Dude,
It's exhausting.
that was-
you just
yeah,
get you
that
just get
was-
you just learn to function as a zombie exhausted person with like you learn. It's like the most exhausted I ever thought I was before
Yeah.
joining this band was nothing
Yeah.
compared to like how exhausted I have now learned to
Yeah,
be.
that tour was hectic.
It was
like,
so hectic. It was in the dead of winter, in the polar vortex that was
during
happening.
during the polar vortex.
It was.
Yeah.
I've never experienced temperatures like that. We ran off the road one night. We on black ice. The temperatures were like nothing. Like we had never experienced temperatures like that. People were dying in the streets. Like it was because it was so cold. We had warnings to like not be outside for too long because people's irises were freezing and people weren't like people's eyeballs were freezing. It was that cold. There were health warnings to not
It was
like
pretty metal.
I mean, like we did a full 180 spin on the road one night when we, ended up facing oncoming traffic. There was an accident that we passed on the way to, I think we were going to Kansas from Minneapolis. We saw a big accident. Turned out like the passengers in that accident died. Like we also had run off the road pretty much and luckily were not hurt. But like that was the conditions we were battling. So it was exhausting and it was dangerous, but we lived to tell the tale.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me
so
too.
coldest. It was the coldest it's ever been in
was-
America.
yeah, the week before we got there was
for a
colder than
decade or something.
Antarctica.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, that was a hectic tour. That was not a comfortable tour. He still managed to get a day off, spend it in the studio, and write a song. So.
So I almost feel guilty about asking that. But what secrets do you guys have to survive on tour?
I mean, Jordan takes vitamin D tablets. I don't know, coffee, lots of coffee, and
we try to eat healthy, but sometimes
I just ate like 60 chocolate Easter eggs just before. So try is definitely
just try and keep healthy as much as you can.
try to sleep as much as you can when you can.
Yeah.
And try to enjoy yourself too, I think, because like if you aren't enjoying yourself, then your morale starts to drop. And I think that how you feel about things is definitely going to impact your physical health a lot. So like I've found that when I'm really happy on tour, I don't get physically sick. Or if I do start to get physically sick, I get over it very quickly. Whereas if I'm feeling a bit down in the dumps on tour, things like that, then I find that I get physically more unwell generally. Like I'll get the flu or whatever. So things like that, trying to keep your mental health in check is really important.
So that's a good point because I quite recently started following you guys on social media and I watched your stories and you seem to have a lot of fun on tour. So how important is it to you to make new friendships with other bands and stuff like that?
It's so important.
Yeah, the it doesn't matter what tour you're on, unless you're of course maybe supporting Metallica and Metallica decides they want to throw someone a bone. But we're not at this level. We're not talking about that. Every band on the package is, that's the team. It's never one band versus the rest, or like it's never about a competition. You have to what most people in the touring circuit realize is that whenever you go on tour, everyone is there to help
Same
each other
reasons,
out. Yeah, exactly. We're all there for the same reason. We wouldn't be doing all these mad, crazy, like successful shows if it wasn't for all the other bands in the bill at the same time. And most people in the touring circuit realize that.
Yeah.
So that's, I would absolutely say it is extremely important. I don't think we've really been on a tour where, the whole like tour party was, awful or like, against each other. We've never had that, thankfully.
No.
I've heard of it happen. I have heard of these things happen, but I think we're maybe lucky enough to not have.
I think we're a very sociable bunch as well. Like we're friendly. We don't have a chip on our shoulders. Like we're not gonna like act like we're better than anyone or or be suck ups either. I think that we're nice people. I hope we're nice people. We like to be. We just like nice, friendly people, and I think that helps. And when we meet other nice, friendly people, then we all just get along. So. Yeah, and having a laugh is really important. It's like good to not take things too seriously.
So what are the best friends you made so far on tour?
Well,
What on this tour?
Oh, in your whole life as a band.
Oh, that's so hard. I can't answer that
hard.
question. Like, I'm not even trying to be, unbiased or, nice or anything. That's just literally just
yeah, 'cause
way.
it's different. Like you have different relationships with different bands. Like, yeah, like it's just different dynamics and stuff. I've met some of the and sometimes you'll meet like a couple of people from a particular band who you really gel with, and then a couple of people from another band who you really gel with, and it won't be the whole band. It'll be like just sometimes you just have like such great connections with certain people. But yeah, like I don't think I've toured with one bad band or one band that I'm like, ew, they're, jerks or anything. Definitely the last couple of tours we've had though, like, oh, I've loved the tour parties on there. Like the last couple of US tours we've had, oh my gosh. Like Born of Osiris, God.
It's been a time. It's been a time.
And,
So it's been
we've amazing.
We've had a very I think everything we've been doing for the past 2 years, just tour parties have always been very good. It's hard to single anyone out.
Yeah, we're very lucky, I think, in that sense.
That sounds great. I'm happy for you guys. But Make Them Suffer has seen some major lineup changes as a band. So I know you answered the question 1,000 times, but how do you stay true to the original sound and still develop with new guys coming in and out?
Well, gee, it's a really hard thing to answer because, when you say how do you stay true to your sound, well, I don't think I could never not. Even in my mind, if I was like, I'm going to write something different, there's always going to be that like X factor in there somewhere. We'll have music that sounds slightly different, but that X factor, the DNA, the Make Them Suffer DNA will always still, be in our music. As far as new members go, like we haven't, we've had the same lineup since 2017, since we spoke last, and I think like we're going to be settling on this for at least a while. So, I don't think, I think that whether or not we have new members coming in, hypothetically speaking, if we, swapped out 2 more people, I don't think it would make a drastic impact as to how the music is going to be written, because the DNA, again, the MTS DNA is still going to be in the music.
Sorry. So last time we spoke, we talked about the deathcore scene. Back then, I think Suicide Silence released their infamous record. Yeah. How do you feel about the deathcore scene 2019?
The deathcore, so I find this really interesting. So deathcore seems to be a genre as of maybe the last 2 years. This is just my perspective. I'm not like the messiah or guru of heavy music or anything, but I noticed that the title deathcore is becoming increasingly less popular, or I don't know if it's less popular or maybe it's evolving. You have like deathcore bands in 2017 are now writing more in the field of like gent and stuff. Gent and deathcore are amalgamating into one genre almost. But then you have metalcore at the same time that's doing the same thing. You have metalcore bands stepping into the gent realm, and I think the way things are going is that the gent metalcore deathcore thing is all going to amalgamate into one. That seems like the way things are going. Maybe there are deathcore bands out there still who are still doing it big, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with what's been happening in the deathcore circuit scene. Yeah, so yeah.
And how do you feel about the music industry in general?
How do I feel about the music industry in general? Well, I got a lot to say. I got a lot of nice things to say, but mostly, yeah. Man, it's a really it's a very convoluted subject because you know, I think in the past couple of years we've really harnessed how the band runs as a business. A couple of years ago, you know, we had a bit of an accident. Went touring overseas that involved financial mismanagement, and you know, one day we were like, look, let's just figure this whole thing out ourselves. We don't need anybody to doing. We don't need anybody else to be doing it for us. And you know, we went and did everything from like figuring out how much money we were making from things like Spotify, how many CDs are we selling, how much money are we what are we monetizing off YouTube clips, things like that. And you know, upon finding out how much money our band was making, how well we were doing as a business in terms of you know, our song reception, our music reception, stuff like that, I started to do further research into you know, how much record labels and stuff are making, how much how Spotify DSPs like Spotify and YouTube influence the music industry. And you know what, there's a lot of things. It is, yeah, there's a lot of things that as an artist make me really angry, make me really upset, that we're still not living in a time where the prime you know, the primary driver for the music industry is always going to be the artist, and yet they're not receiving the money that we should be. The field isn't fair. Granted, we are moving forward with things like with DSPs like Spotify in play. It sort of balances the playing field out a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, record labels are still the winner when it comes to the primary beneficiaries. Absolutely. But yeah, look, we're moving forward, and hopefully, you know, with the with technology and software advancing, maybe in the next 5 years we'll start to see changes, and maybe we'll start to see artists make more from their music.
That'd be super nice.
It would be, wouldn't it?
I sure hope so. For more bands. So just an outlook for the future for you guys. So you already said the new song's gonna be the heaviest one yet. Many bands have said that before, but I sure hope so. What other things can we expect in the future from Make Them Suffer?
I think it remains to be seen, really.
We don't even know.
We don't even know, yeah. Like, I mean, it's not something that you plan. You're not going to be like, I'm going to write a really heavy song and then like a really melodic song, and then like, you know, you don't sit down and go, this is what this song's going to sound like. It turns into what it's going to turn into, and really, I feel like you got very little say in it. It's like it just develops how it develops. So we don't even know, really. We've got, as Nick said, like we've got a bank full of like songs which need to be pieced together and created, like, you know, at the moment they are puzzle pieces, and we need to, you know, sit and we need to put them all together and then like turn them into the songs that they are going to inevitably turn into. But yeah, as far as like having an intent behind a particular sound or like a direction in that way, it's really hard to know until you're in the studio and actually like writing and like, you know, putting it all together. So yeah.
But coming back to the whole Spotify story, I also heard of bands who changed the writing style because of Spotify. Because, I don't know, scientists found out that people get bored after the first 10, 20 seconds of a song. So it always starts off with the chorus and things like that.
Yeah, you hear stories of I'm not sure if you're saying if people like find ways around getting by that. That's right. They have their own algorithm. There's I read a while ago that the technicality was something like, at the moment, if you listen to the first 10 minutes of a song, it constitutes as a play. I'm not sure if that exactly is correct, but people people kind of bend the system, wrought the system a little bit by making a, I don't know, like a 10-second track or whatever. But as far as actually writing a song, how it affects songwriting, I personally haven't heard of anyone try to change their style on it. Yeah, there's
like Britney Spears, or like, it's not a thing, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen I haven't personally witnessed any patterns in that yet. When we write songs, I think we like writing choruses first anyway. So, so
the song gets built around it. It's
yeah. But that's just us. Yeah, I don't know.
Another thing that I read about was that bands choose their set lists from their Spotify streams in particular cities. Is there something you would consider too in the future?
Actually, we before we go out on a tour these days, Spotify's got a really good platform for artists. They break down exactly where your songs are being played and what cities and stuff, where your top cities are, for which songs, etc. If you really want to go that far, I believe you can actually get that data. So before we jump out on any tour, we look at, we might look at things like how many songs, what songs are being played in what country, and it doesn't have like an immediate influence on what songs we end up choosing, but it helps us in the process of deciding our set lists.
Yeah, you don't want to go out and just play to people who are like, I hate this, you'd like to put on a show that people are going to enjoy. So
we noticed that it makes a significant difference to the crowd energy. We played songs before that we just like, let's just play this, and it's been our less popular song on a particular album, and you can see that, and the Spotify data we see actually does well in reflecting that as well. So we absolutely do use Spotify to help us choose playlists, choose set lists.
That's a quite natural evolution actually for artists, I think. So what is the plan for the rest of 2019?
Going to LA.
I'm
going to LA to record our fourth album. July, sorry.
So we got a tour, an Australian headline tour with After the Burial when we get back home. So I think we're home for like 6 days. Okay. And then we jump onto that tour, and then we're home for a few weeks, and then we fly to LA to record for about a month, and then the rest is to be revealed after the LA.
Yes.
Stint,
so.
Can't say too much. But there is definitely more happening at the end of the year as well.
But you can't promise that the album will be released this year.
I'm not sure.
We haven't gotten that far yet. It really depends.
We have studio time
on a lot
booked,
of things.
And that's all we know. I guess.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes with MTS. We're signing new deals. We're currently negotiating new deals. I'm sorry, that's the better way of saying it. What remains for the rest of 2019? Remains to be seen. All I can say is that we've got a overseas tour booked. I can't say if it's an album tour, if it's a big support. We can't say anything until a bit later on in the year when everything gets announced, I guess. Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to anything.
Cool.
So thanks for your time.
Thank Thank you.
Have fun on stage tonight and on the rest of the tour. Good luck
you so
for
much.
your album.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
And thanks. Goodbye.
Appreciate it.
Bye.